Tonight at breaking point, fuel or food? Bleak choices for South Aussies as the pain at the Bowser worsens.
The Premier back on the tools and calling for discipline as One Nation comes in hot.
A northern suburbs family left homeless after a load of washing erupts in a fireball.
Countdown to obliteration. Iran holds its ground as the world waits to see if Donald Trump goes through with his latest threat.
Adelaide's cut price meat, how to get lamb on the plate for $2 a serve.
Plus power and pain, how long Connor Rosie will be sidelined.
Live from Adelaide, this is 7 News with Rosanna Mangiarelli and Will Goodings.
Good evening. Vulnerable South Australians will be forced to choose between fuel and food. That's the warning from welfare groups as unleaded and diesel prices hit record highs.
The newly re-elected Labor government is under increasing pressure to act, but the Premier is holding fire.
Never has Adelaide seen prices like these. At Golden Grove, unleaded nudging $2.60 a litre, diesel now $3.
Every new day the price goes up, so it's hard.
At this discount supermarket in the city's north, shoppers are hurting.
We're all struggling. I think the fuel situation is definitely out of control.
The manager says they've never been busier.
Definitely in the last couple of weeks, especially once the fuel prices hit a bit harder and the prices went up. Yeah, there's definitely been an increase.
Welfare groups telling 7 News if something doesn't change and soon, the most vulnerable will be forced to make an impossible decision.
People have to choose between paying for their rent, buying food, paying for their electricity. Adding fuel in is going to make that even harder.
The access taxi industry, meanwhile, is being crushed by diesel prices, warning fares will have to rise.
If they see their work is not viable, they will simply walk away because they also need to feed their family.
As the crisis deepens, federal authorities have given working from home the green light. Energy Minister Chris Bowen calling the idea sensible, but the Premier disagrees.
We've seen work from home mandates during the course of COVID, and it didn't end well for a lot of people.
But the reality is staring us in the face. Prices will rise further. Even fuel experts shudder to think how high they could go.
I do not even want to come close to comprehending how bad things would have to get to go to $4 a litre.
Jonathan Edwards, 7 News.
And the Premier's wasted no time getting back to work after his landslide election win, issuing a stern warning to his colleagues.
Amid the growing rise of One Nation, he's demanding focus and discipline from his troops with no room for compromise.
Peter Malinauskas knows these young adults are the beating heart of the state's future prosperity.
Good man, thanks Josh.
Economic growth will come from many quarters, including our AUKUS submarine program. Growing housing needs also require an army of tradies who need to be trained. 3 new technical colleges are promised for Gawler, Marden and Murray Bridge.
First one has to be open 2028.
And just to reinforce that directive,
first one has to be open 2028. Which means no time to muck around.
Another clear message, build them and they will come.
Working outside with my hands, doing something that I actually enjoy. I just know that's what I want to do every day.
Being here helps set up our future as well much better, and it's a lot more relaxed and easier to have that.
My gut feel is it continues to grow and there's going to be more demand.
The Premier is keeping a watchful eye on the vote counting, with One Nation lurking as a growing force.
Where's Pauline Hanson today? Does anyone know?
One Nation will pick up at least Nudgery and perhaps up to 3 other lower house seats. The Libs are in tatters with only a handful at best. The Premier's steely advice to his re-elected MPs and to his new ones.
I demand discipline. And that is a culture that is enforced at every level within the party.
Mallee 2.0 is already evident. Mike Smithson, 7 News.
2 men have faced court over a multi-million-dollar fire in the heart of Gawler. Deanna Williams joins us from the Elizabeth Magistrates Court. Dee, only one of them applied for bail.
That's
That's right, Will, and the magistrate refused to release him despite hearing he's mentally challenged. The fire took hold in at least half a dozen vacant shops in the town's main street on Thursday morning. 2 men aged 26 and 28 from Gawler and Enfield respectively were arrested on Saturday by detectives from the Barossa CIB and charged with arson. Lawyers for one of them, 26-year-old Lee Lawton, told the magistrate his client would be at risk in custody because he has a mental capacity of a 13-year-old and needs full-time NDIS support. Prosecutors, though, opposed all forms of bail, arguing the case against the pair was a strong one, including witnesses, CCTV and text messages that allegedly implicate them in the fire. The magistrate said the $4 million blaze was extremely serious and refused Lawton home detention despite his disability. His co-accused didn't apply for bail and both men will face a magistrate again, get rid of my hair, in June. Back to you, Rosanna.
All right, thank you, Dee. A career criminal allegedly involved in a wild chase through the northern suburbs at the weekend remains locked up tonight. There were bizarre scenes as a stolen ute on 3 wheels was tracked all the way to Hollywood Plaza before a dramatic arrest. Aaron Brace has been charged with a raft of serious driving offences and breaching bail conditions. The magistrate today ordered a home detention report.
A woman's been arrested after allegedly setting fire to her housing trust unit at Kent Town. Emergency crews were called to Kappa Street just before 8:30 this morning after reports the woman was acting erratically. When the MFS arrived there was smoke and flames coming from the second floor window.
It was presenting a real risk at the time. We had to first of all make sure that there was no one inside the fire, and then secondly make sure the fire wasn't going to spread to the neighbouring properties.
The 30-year-old woman was taken to hospital and is expected to be charged with arson.
A Christie Downs woman is set to face court after ploughing her car through the front doors of a service station last night. It happened at the OTR on Dyson Road just after 10:30, with the SES called in to shore up the building. Police say the car was unregistered and uninsured. The woman's been reported for aggravated driving without due care.
To the Middle East now, where Iran is refusing to back down after Donald Trump issued his 48-hour ultimatum. The clock is ticking. Iran has just over 16 hours left to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or the US says it will obliterate its energy grid. Tehran says if that happens, not only will it retaliate, it will close the vital shipping route indefinitely.
Precision strikes, Iran's drone capabilities supposedly being ripped up, while in Israel fresh explosions decimate cars, buildings, cluster missiles raining down over Tel Aviv from the sky. Iran taunting the apprentice turned US president with this message.
Hey Trump, you are fired. You are familiar with this sentence. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Using Donald Trump's catchphrase against him, Iran's president insists the Strait of Hormuz is open to all, except those who violate our soil. But if Trump keeps to his deadline, Tehran is vowing to completely close the strait and inflict maximum damage to US-linked water and energy facilities across the Gulf. Israel is backing in the US president's plan.
I think President Trump knows exactly what he's doing, and whatever we do together.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu surveying the damage where ballistic missiles pierced Israel's sophisticated Iron Dome defences twice, slamming into residential areas.
Whoa!
Utter destruction at this kindergarten not far from a nuclear research facility. No one killed, 160 injured across both sites, and an investigation launched.
What more proof do you need that this regime that threatens the entire world has to be stopped?
Well, this is what the direct hit from a ballistic missile looks like. You can see the crater just behind me. This is the play area of a kindergarten, and the building itself has been completely destroyed. There is play equipment inside, toys, all of it reduced to rubble.
The human cost is being felt severely in Iran. Its reported death toll now more than 1,500. In the northeast city of Tabriz, 2 children and their father were killed during a strike on a residential area both sides of this war seemingly want to condemn. In Israel, Jacqueline Robson, 7 News.
Still in the Middle East, and the president of Lebanon fears Israel is about to launch a major ground invasion of his country. Chief reporter Chris Reason is there. Chris, Israel has started taking out key civilian infrastructure.
Good evening. Well, Lebanon's president has warned his citizens to be braced for an imminent ground offensive after Israeli jets took out a key bridge, which he says was an attempt to sever the north of this country from the south around the Litani River. President Joseph Aoun warning his citizens that this was a prelude to a ground invasion and eventual occupation of the south of his country. Israel argues that the bridge was being used by Hezbollah to ferry troops and military supplies. Lebanon says now key communities have been cut from vital medicines and food. We've seen already over 1,000 people killed in the conflict in this country and over 1 million people displaced. And evidence too, though, that Israel has been building up, a major build-up of troops and artillery on the north of its border. Israel looking to call up some 450,000 reservists. Lebanon says it's reached out for urgent peace talks with Israel. It's yet to hear a response. Rosanna?
All right, thank you, Chris. The world's chief on energy has taken his worries on the global fuel crisis directly to Canberra and the Prime Minister's doorstep. His visit, waving a red flag, comes as Anthony Albanese hits the phones to make sure we're not blindsided by our nearest neighbours.
Trying to lock in fuel for Australia, the Albanese government confirms talks with key countries that refine our petrol, diesel and jet fuel.
Making sure that we can secure supply.
Overwhelmingly reliant on foreign refineries, Australia sources big quantities of fuel from South Korea and Singapore, Japan, Malaysia and China. This afternoon, the Prime Minister spoke with Singapore's PM Lawrence Wong, the two promising to support open trade flows.
This is a third world country situation that Anthony Albanese has sleptwalked into.
Definitely the risks in the near term are to the downside.
3 weeks into the Iran war, the ASX 200 has taken a pounding, down more than 9%.
It equates to something like 350 billion.
As the head of the International Energy Agency visits Canberra and warns even if the Iran war ended now, damage to energy assets means recovery would be slow.
The amount of oil we lost is equal to 2 oil price shocks in the 70s, which led the world to recession.
And pressure is building here for the government to hit one group that stands to profit from the Iran war, gas exporters, with a big new tax.
It's not their gas. It's not the government's gas. It's not the opposition's gas. It's our gas.
The visiting energy chief agrees Australians own the resource, but adds this warning.
Energy investors are like butterflies. When they are scared, they fly away.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
The ABC's live programs are expected to be thrown off air on Wednesday, with staff going on strike for the first time in 20 years. The 24-hour stop work is expected to see significant reduction in television news, and radio programs will sound different, with managers expected to step in for regular announcers. Union members have rejected a 10% pay rise offer over 3 years, as well as $1,000 sign-on bonuses.
The King's Baton Relay landed in Townsville this morning, spreading an important message ahead of the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. For the first time, the baton is also a catalyst for a special environmental endeavour in the King's name.
If they handed out medals for community spirit, this group would surely be on the podium.
I got lots of glass. Yeah, there's a lot of glass.
They're collecting rubbish from the beach at Rose Bay in Townsville, an effort organised to coincide with the King's Baton Relay.
To see such a concerted effort going into making sure that we're looking after, our homes and the beautiful parts of nature that we have, it's good to see.
The aim is to reduce plastic pollution and improve the health of our waterways, in keeping with King Charles's lifelong environmental drive. It's an added dimension to the Baton Relay in the lead-up to the Commonwealth Games.
I've been a fan of his for way back, because he was an environmentalist when it wasn't popular. Now everyone sort of knows he was right.
It's also a chance to see the baton and mingle with athletes.
It's pretty incredible. It's one of those things you see as a kid, I think, and to be standing here and doing this now, it really is a dream come true.
The fact that we have the opportunity to compete, particularly in today's climate, is just unbelievable.
The relay has already landed in Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, and each place has staged a similar cleanup. Their goal is to remove 1 million pieces of plastic from the environment before the start of the Glasgow Commonwealth Games in July. The King's Baton leaving its mark by what's not left behind. Max Futcher, 7 News.
The dates for this year's Christmas Test at Adelaide Oval have been announced, with Australia to host New Zealand in a day test match starting on Thursday, December 17. It's the same date as last year's Ashes, which drew a record crowd of more than 200,000 fans across the 5 days.
To have 220,000 people at a test match is phenomenal wherever you are in the world, and I think the Adelaide Oval showed itself to be the best venue in world cricket, and we're delighted to have it back again.
It always does, and Adelaide Oval will also host a one-day game against England. That's on November 15.
Feels like a long way away summer at this time of year, doesn't it?
But come around quick.
That's true. That's because we're talking footy at the moment. It's a footy time of year, and you got some big news for us, Soda.
Yeah, it's not good for the power, though, with skipper Connor Rosie's hamstring drama. We're going to have the latest on that and tell you how long he'll miss. Well, the versatile Miles Bergman also has some problems. There'll be a new Crow heading to the Cattery on Thursday night, while an old Crow's set to miss the trip. And the hamstring curse isn't limited to our footy clubs, with a star quick ruled out of this week's Shield final against the Vicks. All that and plenty more coming up soon in sport.
We'll catch you then. Thank you, Soda. Now, a Sunday night load of washing leads to all-out panic. A northern suburbs family's dryer exploding into flames. Neighbours rushing to help. That story's next.
A police probe leads to the discovery of a buried classic car in a Haybra backyard.
Radio shock jock Kyle Sandilands officially launches legal action over his contract termination.
It's less than filling up the family car. How to fly to Melbourne for under $50.
Plus, how to serve your family lamb for as little as $2 a dish. Police have uncovered a rare classic car buried in the backyard of a home at Haybra. The 1952 Ford Anglia Tourer was reported stolen earlier this year. During a search of the property, officers also uncovered several stolen bikes along with illegal ammunition, drugs and weapons. A 38-year-old man's facing a string of serious offences.
A northern suburbs couple's been forced out of their family home of 28 years after their clothes dryer burst into flames. They've told 7 News neighbours raced over with a fire extinguisher, but there was little they could do.
Their belongings destroyed, but for Patrick and Isabel Moller, what matters most, they made it out together.
I love my wife so much.
This is our
she's
house.
alive. That's the main thing. That's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah, maybe it's coming to me now, but excuse me.
Their clothes dryer caught fire around 8:30 last night, causing damage to their family home of 28 years.
My husband woke up and he said, I think it's smelling a little bit of something burning. I said, well, I got the dryer, let me go have a look. I went outside and the whole corner was on fire.
Patrick ran to the neighbours, who rushed over with a fire extinguisher. But the flames too fierce to control.
Just engulfing the whole dryer on top. So, it was bright.
Fire authorities say appliances must be regularly checked and maintained.
Overheating is a common cause of fire in dryers. That can come from having not cleaned the lint filter and interfering with the airflow, for a lack of ventilation.
The couple could be without a place to live for up to 6 months. They'll stay in a hotel while repairs are carried out.
It is very traumatic and could have been much worse. And actually, it's only material things.
A devastating loss, but tonight they're holding on to each other. Mitchell Zariovsky, 7 News.
Well, it's official. Kyle Sandilands is suing his former employer. The sacked Kiss FM star claims ARN Media unlawfully tore up his $100 million contract after a heated on-air argument with co-host Jackie O. The radio giant told investors this morning it had been served legal documents by the Sandilands team. The shock jock claims there were no grounds to sack him, alleging there's been no serious misconduct nor breach of contract.
Singer Delta Goodrum has kicked off her Eurovision campaign, performing her entry song Eclipse at a fan event in Oslo, and she brought the Aussie charm.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
The music competition will take place in Vienna in May.
Well, Easter's just around the corner and South Aussies are being urged to get their local chocolate shopping done early.
Well, Casey joins us live from Haigs, and Casey, you are doing exactly that.
I sure am, Will. I'm picking up some of the famous eggs and, of course, the bilbies here, the absolute popular favourites here at Haigs. Now, Easter is still more than a week and a half away, but we are being warned that if you don't come in early, you actually risk missing out on some of the popular products here. And that is despite the Adelaide chocolate factories working in overtime, churning out 100 tonnes of Easter chocolates, even upping production to 6 million eggs this year, and it still might not be enough to keep up with demand. Online sales are becoming popular, but the cut-off for orders is this weekend. Now, it's a little too early to make any Easter weather predictions, but I can say there is more warm sunshine on the way for most of the state tomorrow. I'll be back with the details in the forecast shortly.
Thank you, Casey, and don't forget about us.
Absolutely.
A passenger plane collides with a fire truck at a New York airport. All those details next.
Also, enough is enough. Police confiscate e-bikes across Australia, hundreds of hoons hit with big fines.
How to serve your family lamb for as little as $2 a dish.
And the dash cam that shows the exact moment a driver's life flashed before their eyes.
New York's LaGuardia Airport, one of America's busiest, has shut down after a passenger jet hit a truck on the runway.
The emergency is still unfolding right now, with 2 people critically injured.
This is Jazz Airlines Flight 646, an Air Canada regional flight, nose in the air, with a gaping hole just under the cockpit, torn away after ploughing into an airport truck with police and firefighters on board.
It just lifted in the air. Holy.
It was dark and raining, but air traffic controllers watched the disaster unfold, first desperately trying to alert the crew on the truck.
Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop.
And frantically instructing all approaching aircraft to abort their landings.
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
But it was too late for these passengers and crew.
Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there, just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now.
The plane, a smaller CRJ 900, had just landed from Montreal with around 80 passengers and crew on board. Everyone would have been seated with belts on, expecting to be in the terminal within minutes.
But the big question is where was the communication breakdown that allowed for this vehicle to end up on an active runway as a plane was landing?
Air travel right across America has been a nightmare in recent days because of security staff shortages. And with busy LaGuardia now closed, no one is going anywhere fast. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
Back home, and arsonists are believed responsible for a blaze that's destroyed a duplex at Elizabeth. Firefighters arrived at the Woodford Road property to find flames tearing through the roof.
I have the water hose. I just jumped from the fence and I'm trying to turn the flames off.
Luckily, no one was injured.
It was a case of wrong place, wrong time for this man who was driving cautiously along a treacherous stretch of coastal road when his car was suddenly swallowed by a landslide. It happened in Turkey. Rescue crews finding the 44-year-old under a mountain of debris. He was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
And diners were given an unexpected light show when a fireworks stall caught alight outside a restaurant in Malaysia. Workers dodging the sparks as they shuttered the business. Nearby homes were also struck. The stall was destroyed, but no injuries were reported.
Critics of e-bikes claim they're motorised death traps terrorising our suburbs and causing headaches for parents, police and other emergency workers. 7 News has been given exclusive access to the police team putting the brakes on dangerous behaviour to try to keep kids safe.
Fast, reckless and sometimes fatal. E-bikes rising in popularity and danger.
They go on one wheel up and like little cowboys.
Because the kids over here are pretty wild.
7 News given exclusive access to the New South Wales Police Highway Patrol Unit on the front line with Operation E-Voltage, a statewide crackdown on illegal e-bike behaviour.
A lot of what we're trying to do was about engagement and trying to educate them that what they're doing is dangerous.
The focal point of this operation, Cronulla, one of the most notorious locations in the country for illegal activity.
How big is this problem?
The problem is very, very big. Out of my fatals, they were the biggest cause of fatals in my area.
Emergency wards around the country filling up with victims of e-bike accidents.
Is your emergency room under pressure then?
It is, yeah.
Thousands per year, 2026 on track to eclipse last year's patient numbers.
Already in 2026, Operation E-Voltage has handed out close to 2,000 fines for e-bike non-compliance, making it one of the largest crackdowns in the state's history. Now, with new laws here in New South Wales, police will have greater powers to seize illegal bikes, terrorising the suburbs.
New South Wales now coming into line with other states and territories, enhancing its e-bike regulations. Maximum 250-watt motors, a 25 km/h speed limit, and a minimum riding age between 12 and 16. Parents urged to play their part in making sure their kids come home.
Kids are kids. They don't know what's dangerous themselves some of the time, and it's up to the parents to have the conversations and raise that awareness.
Liam Tapper, 7 News.
A troubled teenager dubbed one of Australia's worst juvenile offenders has revealed how he's getting his life back on track. Exclusive details next on 7 News.
Also, the ultimate face-off as Archibald Prize paintings are paraded into the art gallery.
How to fly to Melbourne for less than $50.
And how to score some meat for less, the little hack with big savings.
Tonight, the great Essendon struggle, how they got here and is it fixable? Our team deep dive into the plight of the Bombers. The fallout to the weekend, the lost clock time.
Hello. Donald Trump's ultimatum to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz or else brought more panic to world markets. The ASX plunged almost 2% this morning. More than $300 billion has been wiped from investment and superannuation accounts since the war began. In that time, the price of Brent crude oil has leapt more than 50%. Analysts warn that even if Iran unblocks that key shipping corridor tomorrow, supply and prices would take months to normalise. And that pressure is already pushing housing costs even higher. The Master Builders Association says suppliers are increasingly adding a fuel levy to cover soaring prices, and that could take the cost of materials back to COVID-era levels. The ASX 200 trimmed its losses by the close. Gold has had its biggest weekly fall since 1983. The Aussie dollar worth 69 US cents.
It's hard to believe, but it's now cheaper to fly to Melbourne than fill the family car. Jetstar is resuming flights to Avalon this week, and the budget carriers launched a flash sale of $43 one-way fares. The seats are for dates between June and September. The budget carriers scheduled 7 return flights a week. Jetstar hasn't flown from Adelaide to Avalon since before the pandemic.
The Cuban government says its military is preparing for a potential attack as the US continues to impose a crippling oil blockade. After America seized Venezuela's president, Donald Trump said Cuba was next, claiming the Caribbean nation could fall pretty soon. Cuba's deputy foreign minister says leaders would be naive to ignore the possibility of conflict. The island's power grid has now collapsed for the second time in a week.
4 ambulances that belong to a Jewish volunteer organisation have been set on fire in London. Video shows 3 masked people in the suburb of Golders Green, which is a large Jewish population. No one was injured. Officers are treating it as an anti-Semitic hate crime as they hunt the culprits.
A teenager, once described by police as one of the worst young offenders, is turning his life around. From home invasions to high-speed chases, the 16-year-old caused chaos across the suburbs. Tonight, in an exclusive interview with Seven's Cassie Zervos, he tells how he turned the corner.
Swapping the thrill of high-speed chases in stolen cars for this.
If I didn't have him in my life, I'd probably be locked up again by now already. Punching something gives like the same thrill and adrenaline as it would punching 100 Ks on your dash.
The 16-year-old's criminal offending was so bad, he was the first teen in Victoria to wear an ankle monitoring device. He stole dozens of cars and was involved in home invasions, leaving innocent Melburnians terrorised. Now, he's turning his life around.
He was labelled one time as one of the worst youth offenders, and now, you know, I can't wait for the police to see him on the streets.
A remarkable breakthrough off the back of his longest stint inside Parkville. 8 months locked up.
The day he got out on parole was the day we picked up the reins.
Through mutual connections, mentors Joel Brown and Wade Hobber have been working around the clock.
Definitely, you know, both got colourful pasts. Those that have been there can give back. Accountability check-ins, we're in a group chat, so we're FaceTiming each other, calling each other and, you know, training on the daily.
And so far, it's working. The teen has been out of prison for a month, the longest period ever he's gone without reoffending.
Nah, don't want to let him down. It's more just like a respect thing. They don't treat me like a goose, so I won't treat them like one.
Alongside Olympian and pro boxer Jason Waitley, the dynamic team trains every day at his gym.
I just think that boxing gyms and fight gyms is probably what there needs to be a little bit more of with the troubled youth.
Yeah, all my mates, I tell all of them, like, I quit it, bro, just go to the gym.
Away from the gym, the teen is also using music to rebuild his life.
This call is coming from inside the Parkville Youth Justice Centre.
Only 15, but the system hate me.
Both Joel and Wade believe work like this could be the solution to the state's crisis.
I want every naughtiest kid and every addict out there.
The 16-year-old's mother admits even though it is early days, for the first time in 2 years, she finally sees light at the end of a very dark tunnel.
A completely different kid this time.
A different kid with a message.
Just give it up. It's not worth it. It's life's way more gangster.
Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
Just getting you ready, mate.
A portrait of our Australian of the Year, Catherine Bennell-Pegg, and mountaineer Michael Groom are among this year's contenders for the prestigious Archibald Prize.
I only started painting a couple of years ago, but it's become an obsession and a real passion for me.
Hundreds of pieces were hand-delivered by their artists to the Art Gallery of New South Wales today. The winner will be announced in May.
Very talented, aren't they? Time for sport now. Not good news for the Power, Soda.
No, huge injury issue for them, one of their most important players. And coming up, all the latest on the skipper's string and how long he's going to miss with the injury. The Crows star will also miss. He's going to have the chance to not get to the Cats, but there will be a new face making the trip. And a former Reds favourite back in green and gold after starring in Spain.
Wednesday nights on 7. It's the most footy you can watch without watching the footy.
I just wanted to say I got a really bad feeling.
First at 8:30, join the fun of the...
Hello again. Port Adelaide has been dealt a crushing injury blow with skipper Connor Rozee expected to miss at least 3 months. Live to Josh Money now. He's got all the details, and Josh, it looks like Rozee may need to go under the knife.
Yeah, it's highly likely so. Rozee will meet with a surgeon this week after scans confirmed the captain's worst fears this morning. The two-time All-Australian has a ruptured tendon in his left hamstring, and while the club will wait until later in the week to provide a clear timeline, it's a procedure that usually takes at least 3 months to recover from. It's a shocking result for Josh Carr and his team and will really test the club's strength and depth, and it also means the captaincy will now be shared by vice skippers Willem Drew and Zach Butters, who's a restricted free agent and, of course, still weighing up his future.
I think it'll be them sharing the load, to be honest. We've got 2 vice captains for a reason. They're very different personalities, so I'm sure they'll bounce off each other a fair bit, and I still feel like I can help them out a fair bit, even though I'm not out there on game day.
Now, another power gun has been ruled out of Sunday's clash at home to West Coast. Miles Bergman has a sprained ankle and a bruised heel. He'll be assessed ahead of round 4. And so Soda, Ollie Wine's return is very timely indeed. The Brownlow medalist has served his ban and is free to play on Sunday.
Good on you, Josh. Thank you. Now, the Crows will have another club debutant with former roof Mangiarelli to face Geelong at the Cattery on Thursday night. Veteran defender Rory Laird's already been ruled out, while Adelaide's midfield group has hit back at the flack it's copping.
Mangiarelli's been a cult figure since he's arrived at West Lakes, and after 3 goals in a Sandfield trial against South, gets his chance against Geelong.
When was the last game of AFL you played? Do you remember?
Geelong. Oh yeah, it was Geelong.
Calamachi will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury, while a minor calf strain for Laird means there'll be at least 2 changes. Josh Worrell, Jordan Dawson and Taylor Walker were nursed through training this afternoon, while Isaac Rankin didn't appear at all. Sam Berry staunchly defended the club's midfield group. After the loss to the Bulldogs, some commentators labelled it one-dimensional and one-paced.
We view it differently to, I guess, how some of the armchair experts view it, but I think everyone that plays in that midfield's got so many strengths, and we've been rolling a lot of people in there now, and everyone's got different strengths and different dynamic.
After playing a slow kick mark game style against the Dogs, the Crows have promised to take the game on against Geelong at the Cattery, a place the club hasn't won at for 23 years.
Generally in the past we've never really played like that. I think it's the most marks we've ever had. I don't think we'll be trying to do that.
And Ben Keys was at the centre of 2 incidents looked at by the AFL. The league's requested he doesn't tell fans to help them waste time, while the club's asked headquarters why this was paid a below-the-knees free kick. It would have been a goal. Adelaide lost by 6 points. Tom Wilson, 7 News.
And for his thoughts on all the weekend's action, here's Cornsey.
The Crows have a serious issue, and it's not just the game plan. For the 3rd match in a row, when they're the favourites to win, they've been blown away by a fast-starting opponent. Perhaps they're trying too hard. Marcus Bontempelli got the first touch for the game and dominated all day, especially when the game was there to be won. Nixie might have to review his no-tagging policy. And the Crows' hesitancy to move the ball quickly not only frustrates the fans, it gives the opposition time to set up behind the ball. They look so much better when they move it faster with precision. But why wait till halfway through the last quarter? There were positives. Jordan Butts continued his growth as a reliable defender. Isaac Rankin got through unscathed. And Adelaide proved it can score quickly against the good teams if they stop messing around with it. Josh Carr said he was looking for a response from his players, and he got it. Jordan Sweet led from the front in the ruck. Now it puzzles me why he's not always the first ruckman picked. The Stars, Butters, Horne-Francis and Rosie were obviously determined to make up for last week and dominated the Bombers. However, Port needs more consistent contributions from the younger, lesser-known names. Look, you can't take too much out of the win other than the 4 points. Essendon was pathetic with its skill errors and lack of contest. The loss of Connor Rosie, though, is a big one. But with games coming up against the Eagles and Richmond, they should be comfortably in the 8 after round 4. The best thing I saw, look, it's not always about marks, kicks and goals. This spoil from Calamachi not only set up a Crows goal, it imposed a fierce physical presence on the opposition. Unfortunately, though, the hamstring curse has claimed him as well.
Thank you, Cornsey. Now, SA coach Ryan Harris has confirmed fast bowler Brendan Doggett won't play in this week's Sheffield Shield final against Victoria after he failed to overcome a hamstring injury. Doggett took 11 wickets in last year's final when SA ended its 29-year title drought.
He tried his butt off. We're obviously going to miss him going in after what he did last year, and the bowler that he is for us, he leads beautifully for us, but it's just too much of a risk.
Day 1 of the Shield final begins on Thursday. South Aussie Socceroo Awa Mabil says he's grateful to be back in green and gold 18 months after his last national team call-up. The 26-year-old's forced his way back into the World Cup calculations after impressing for Spanish second-tier side Castellón.
Being away makes you appreciate what it is to play for the national team. So for me, learning phase, being away, and I'm just going to enjoy every moment.
Socceroos host Cameroon in Sydney on Friday, and Jess Hull won silver in the 1500 metres on the final day of the World Indoor Athletics Championships in Poland, adding to her bronze, which she got in the 3000 metres 24 hours earlier. Fellow Aussie Adam Spencer won bronze in the men's 1500, while Peter Boll was 4th in the 800. Australia finished with 5 medals in total, 2 silver and 3 bronze. That is our look at sport. Good luck to Rhino Harris and the Saka boys. back-to-back finals after such a long wait would be brilliant to get another title.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? All right, thank you very much, Soda. Now, as household budgets tighten, meat-loving South Aussies are finding new ways to keep premium cuts on the menu.
Wholesalers are seeing a spike in demand and say buying in bulk can trim the cost of a lamb dinner to as little as $2 per serve.
Beefing up the freezer, meat-loving Aussies buying up big to get more bang for their buck.
As you can see, I get some good quality steaks, multiple steaks as well.
As fuel prices soar, Flurio Wholesalers Najobi says customers are shopping around like never before.
Over the last probably 10 days, for example, probably our sales of our cheaper cuts like mince and diced and stewing steaks, they're outselling the premium products because they are just getting so expensive.
And there are massive savings to be found by buying in bulk. A 10-kilo box of beef gets you 46 meals at under $6 each, while 19 kilos of lamb will provide 100 meals for just over $2 a serve.
As long as you buy bulk across the whole animal in terms of like your mince, your diced, your stewing steaks, plus your premium cuts, you could find up to 20-25%.
But if you don't have the freezer, there are still savings to be made. Butcher Tony O'Connell says South Australian pork is the cheapest it's ever been.
Yeah, my word, whilst it's good value, if you're going to try and save yourself some money.
While Livestock SA says floods up north could also create cheaper prices at the checkout, as an influx of cattle is redirected to SA. When household budgets get tight, premium cuts are often the first to get the chop. But retailers say you can have your meat and eat it too by shopping smarter.
There's lots of cuts that you may never have heard of, like a hanging steak or a flat iron steak. They're not going to be the most tenderest all the time, but they're very good quality cuts of meat.
I'm looking for good bargains all the time, something that we can put in the window that will make that budget go a bit further.
Honey Howe, 7 News.
Yeah, good on you, Tony. Now, if you ever needed a reason to shower your pooch with some extra TLC, then you're in luck. We have one. Details next.
It might be too early for the Easter forecast, but this week, warm conditions in store tomorrow. A cool change due later on, though. Those details coming up live from Haigs.
Trump's ultimatum to Iran. Open the shipping route or face the consequences. The world's oil lifeline under threat. The outcome, the impact, what the deadline will mean for you. Chris Reason live with our team of experts. 7 News tomorrow.
Start with sunrise!
Let's get together
for brekkie.
When I knew that I was getting to hang out with y'all, I said, come on, let's do it.
News, sport,
weather,
stars,
singers,
and winners.
Get your day started right.
Start with sunrise.
For Adelaide's latest news and more, tune in to Will Goodings and David Pemberthy on 5AA Breakfast tomorrow morning.
Time for the weather now with Casey, who joins us again from Haigs.
And Case, the giant egg is back by popular demand.
It sure is, Rosanna, weighing in at a whopping 1 kilogram. The super egg here sold out within days last year, and despite the $150 price tag, it is expected to be a sellout again this year. Now, the Easter long weekend is still 11 days away, so it's a little tricky to make any forecast predictions just yet, but I am sure for those planning a getaway, they'll be hoping for more of what we saw today. Bright, warm sunshine with temperatures in the low 30s. The top in the city today, 32.5. A warm overnight low of 19, and it's still around 30 degrees in the city at the moment. A warm day right across the state, 34 degrees at Port Pirie, 32 at Murray Bridge and Narracourt. Now, a high pressure system over the Tasman is maintaining a warm airstream over SA, keeping us mostly cloud free too, but a broad trough could deliver showers about the southeast tomorrow, while ex-tropical cyclone Narelle continues its circle around the country with the Kimberleys to cop it tomorrow. For the capitals tomorrow, a shower or 32 for Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. Perth sunny and 30 degrees. Back to SA, mostly warm and sunny, up to 34 for Moomba, Coober Pedy, Maree, Roxby Downs, Port Augusta, 34 also for Port Pirie, mostly sunny and 33 for Renmark, 32 for Kadina and Nariut, per 30 for Port Lincoln, up to 34 for Murray Bridge. In the southeast though, isolated showers, even the chance of the odd rumble, a shower or two, and 29 for Naracoorte, showers and 27 for Mount Gambier, and flood warnings continue for inland rivers about the state's far north. For the city, a warm night's on the way, down to 21, sunny skies, then a top of 31. A calm day on Metro Waters, variable winds below 10 knots, seas below half a metre. Looking ahead, partly cloudy and 27 Wednesday, slight chance of a shower, then a cool change is due Wednesday afternoon. A shower or two and 21 Thursday. Friday, grey skies, just 19 the top, 22 Saturday, 24 Sunday and 26 on Monday. And before I go, let's take a look at tonight's ray of sunshine. Today's no regular Monday. It's National Puppy Day, easily one of the cutest days on the calendar. At the Pet Deli in Marion, they celebrated with this adorable Facebook video featuring some very good boys and girls who stopped by their store. And if you've got a pup at home, today is of course the day for extra pats and treats. And if you don't, RSPCA has plenty of rescue dogs waiting for their second chance. I'm sure Louis will enjoy some extra affection tonight when I get home, guys.
Oh, he better.
We need to keep the mics on when there's a little pet story because the noises coming out of
all
your
of
mouth were quite extraordinary.
Cute. Everyone in the control room were saying the same.
They were excellent.
Except for you.
I couldn't hear anything. That is all the news today. We'll have updates throughout the...
From all the Adelaide 17 for now, it's good night.
Good night.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now.